What if I told you that one of the most criminally misused, unfairly buried, and flat-out disrespected superstars in WWE history is about to get everything that was stolen from him? What if I told you that the day WWE fans have been begging for, screaming for, since 2019 is finally on the horizon? Because, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, and every single Rusev Day believer still holding the faith out there, I'm your host. Welcome back to WrestleScope, the channel that never sleeps when there's a story this big to tell. And trust me when I say this is the story that every wrestling fan needs to hear right now. Stick with me until the very end of this video, because I'm going to give you details, context, and a twist at the end that is going to absolutely blow your mind. And if you're a Rusev fan, you might want to sit down. But before we get into the good news, I need to take you back, because to truly appreciate what's coming, you need to remember exactly what WWE did to this man. Miro, formerly Rusev, is arguably the most naturally over superstar of the last decade who never got a legitimate main event run in WWE. Let that sink in. The man had organic, unscripted, crowd-generated momentum that most wrestlers spend their entire careers chasing. WWE didn't create Rusev Day. The fans did. The crowd started chanting it. The crowd turned a mid-card foreign heel into one of the most beloved figures on the entire roster. That almost never happens in professional wrestling. And what did WWE do with it? They gave him a United States Championship reign that went absolutely nowhere. They had him lose to Randy Orton in feuds that felt like they existed just to make Rusev look like a stepping stone. They put him in a bizarre, uncomfortable personal storyline with his real-life wife Lana and Bobby Lashley that was so poorly written, so tasteless, and so demeaning, it didn't just bury Rusev on screen, it humiliated him as a human being. The same man who once made 20,000 people in a packed arena spontaneously sing Rusev Day with Aiden English was reduced to a prop in one of the most embarrassing storylines WWE has produced in modern history. And then, when his contract expired in 2020 during the COVID releases, WWE let him walk. They let him walk. I want you to let that fury sit in your chest for a second, because that anger, that's exactly why this return is going to mean so much. Now, here's where things get electric. The wrestling world has been buzzing, and I mean buzzing, with credible reports and mounting signs that Miro's WWE return is not a matter of if anymore. It is a matter of when. Multiple sources close to WWE's talent relations side have indicated that conversations between Miro's camp and WWE have either already taken place or are actively ongoing. And when you couple that with the fact that his AEW contract status has been, let's say, complicated, the pieces are aligning in a way that should have every single one of you hitting that notification bell right now. Here's what we know. Miro's AEW run, despite being critically acclaimed, his TNT Championship reign was chef's kiss from a pure wrestling standpoint, has been plagued by stop-start momentum, injuries, creative inconsistencies, long absences, and perhaps most telling of all, a growing sense that AEW's current direction under Tony Khan simply hasn't found the right place for a performer of Miro's caliber. Meanwhile, over in WWE, Triple H has been on an absolute tear rebuilding bridges with talent that Vince McMahon's regime either released, buried, or burned. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Karrion Kross, Mia Yim, Hit Row, LA Knight, who by the way is another example of a fan-driven phenomenon finally getting his flowers. Triple H has shown time and again that he sees what the fans see. He respects organic connection. And there is no connection in recent WWE history more organic than Rusev Day. Now here's the part I promised you, the twist. The angle that nobody else in the wrestling media space is talking about. What if Rusev Day doesn't just come back? What if it comes back better than ever, but with a completely reimagined version of the concept? Think about this carefully. Miro has evolved. The man who left WWE in 2020 and the man who could walk through that curtain in 2025 or 2026 are two very different performers. In AEW, Miro found a darker, more intense, almost spiritual edge to his character. The God's favorite champion persona showed layers that the Rusev Day gimmick never had the chance to explore. He was terrifying, he was compelling, he was must-watch television every single time he appeared. Now imagine this, Miro returns to WWE, not immediately as the fun, celebratory Rusev Day character. He comes back dark, intense, a man who has been through hell, through betrayal, through injury, through years of being underestimated, and he has changed. The crowd starts a quiet Rusev Day chant, and he stops. He looks at the crowd. He's conflicted. You can see it on his face. And then, slowly, a smile cracks. The music hits.
Aiden English, who has been doing commentary and staying relevant, appears on the stage, and Rusev Day is reborn. But this time, it's not just a celebration, it's a resurrection. It's a man who was told he wasn't good enough, who was told his moment had passed, standing in the middle of a WWE ring, proving every single doubter wrong. That's not just a wrestling storyline, that's a story. That's the kind of narrative that transcends the product and becomes a genuine cultural moment. Triple H's WWE has proven it can execute exactly this kind of layered, emotionally resonant storytelling. Look at Cody Rhodes finishing his story at WrestleMania. Look at Sami Zayn's entire honorary use arc. These weren't just wrestling angles, they were human stories told through the framework of professional wrestling. Rusev's return has every ingredient to be the next one. Let me tell you why this isn't just a feel-good story for nostalgia fans. WWE right now is in a phenomenal position commercially. The Netflix deal has brought in a new audience, millions of new eyeballs who have never seen a Rusev Day moment in their lives. That is an opportunity. A fresh return, properly built, could introduce Miro to an entirely new generation of fans while simultaneously rewarding the loyalists who never stopped believing. And let's talk about the money this feud could generate. You want to talk about a WrestleMania moment? Give Miro a sustained build through the fall and winter, a rivalry with a top heel, someone like Gunther or Solo Sikoa, or even a fresh matchup with a reimagined character, and you have a WrestleMania match that people will pay to see. Gunther versus Miro, two absolute physical specimens with championship gold on the line, with the backdrop of Rusev Day finally getting its proper coronation, that is a main event. That is money. That is legacy. And the United States Championship, the only title reign Miro had that felt criminally short and underserved? Imagine him coming back and making that title his obsession. The belt that represents the country that gave him everything, the country he once villainized as a character, but that the fans refused to reject him for, becoming the symbol of his redemption arc. The storytelling writes itself. Here's what I want to say directly to you, the WrestleScope community, the wrestling faithful, the people who kept Rusev Day alive in memes and social media posts, in chants at indie shows, in comment sections for years. You did this. Not WWE Creative, not a marketing team. You, the fans who refused to let this moment die. Every Rusev Day chant at a live event even after he left the company. Every tweet, every Reddit post, every YouTube comment asking when is Rusev coming back. You collectively kept a flame burning that WWE themselves tried to extinguish. And now, that flame is about to become a bonfire. This is why professional wrestling is unlike any other form of entertainment on the planet. The audience doesn't just watch the story, they shape it, they demand it. And sometimes, if you're loud enough, if you're passionate enough, if you refuse to give up, the story delivers exactly what it was always meant to deliver. Rusev Day was never supposed to just be a mid-card moment. It was supposed to be a championship era, a legacy, a moment that gets played in highlight packages decades from now when people talk about the greatest crowd-generated phenomenons in WWE history. And we are this close to seeing that happen. So here's where we stand. The reports are building, the timing makes sense, Triple H's track record of doing right by talented performers gives us genuine reason for optimism, and the story that could be told, the resurrection of Rusev Day, reimagined and reborn, has the potential to be one of the most emotionally powerful returns in recent WWE memory. Will it happen exactly the way I've laid it out? Maybe not. Wrestling never goes exactly according to the fantasy booking in our heads, and honestly, that's part of what makes it beautiful. But the spirit of what's coming, the idea that Miro walks back through that curtain, that music hits, and 20,000 people lose their absolute minds, that part, I believe in that with everything I've got. Rusev Day is coming, and when it does, remember you heard it here first, on WrestleScope. Before you go, I need something from you right now. If you believe Rusev Day deserves a proper WWE run, smash that like button until your thumb hurts. This video needs to reach every wrestling fan on this platform, and you are the ones who make that happen. Drop a comment below, and I want a specific answer. Who should Rusev's first feud be when he returns? Gunther? Solo Sikoa? Someone else? Let's get a war going in the comment section because I read every single one. And if you are not yet subscribed to WrestleScope, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a video, because trust me, the stories we're covering right now are only getting bigger. Rusev Day. It's not just a catchphrase, it's a promise.